Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, November 28th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The game against Michigan is in 362 days. It is going to be a fairly quiet week around the Ohio State football program. The coaches will be focused on recruiting while they wait to find out whether they'll be headed to the college football playoff or the Rose Bowl. They'll find that out next Sunday, and we're not expected to talk to any of them this week until that news is settled. However, there is going to be a lot to talk about this week. The fallout from Saturday's loss to Michigan, a look at what went wrong, an update on recruiting as we head out into a massive weekend of visitors and into the home stretch before early signing day. And the basketball team is headed to Duke this week as well, with the Dukies fresh off a loss to Purdue on Sunday. So don't worry, we will have plenty to discuss this week. Today we're going to be hearing from the Buckeyes about Saturday's game. I'm going to guess a lot of you turned off your TVs and did not pay a lot of attention to those post-game interviews, but there was a lot of interesting stuff in there, so we're going to go through some of it now. We're going to start with Ryan Day. Saturday was not one of the better days in his career. So what went wrong?
You know, that's really, when you look at the game, I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was just way too many big plays. And on offense, you know, we had too many penalties, and it got us off schedule, and we just didn't do a good job converting on third down. And you combine all these things to get together, and then it gets out of the hand at the end because we're probably throwing the ball too much.
After last year's game, Day dumped his defensive coordinators and brought in Jim Knowles to fix things. And then they got gashed for touchdowns of 69 yards, 75 yards, 45 yards, 75 yards, and 85 yards. Big
plays, yeah. I'm going to have to obviously look and see, where all the breakdowns were, but it wasn't just one area. There was, a missed tackle on the first play, and then we got beat on a double move on the second play, and then there was obviously some misfits in the run game on some other plays, and there was also the pass, to the tight end. So a few plays in the back end, and then a couple of the runs. So. Yeah, obviously the first thing we need to do in games like this is play great defense, and other than two plays in the first half, I felt like we did, but not in the second half.
Ryan Day's career record at Ohio State is 45-5, which is absolutely remarkable. But in those 5 losses, one kind of constant thread is that his team does tend to march up and down the field early, but fail to convert those into touchdowns. And that happened again on Saturday. 4 of their first 5 drives ended inside Michigan's 35-yard line, but they got just 1 touchdown out of those drives.
Yeah, I think it was, a combination of a lot of things. We spent a lot of time trying to, come up with things that we think, can get us into the end zone. And sometimes it's execution, sometimes, it's other things. But no, I think those were opportunities for us to kind of jump ahead, certainly early on in the game, and it didn't happen.
Last year, Day was pretty upset after losing to Michigan, not surprisingly. But was this year's defeat even worse because not only was it 2 in a row, but also this one came at home?
Hard to say right now because this is not the outcome that we all envisioned. I thought we had a really good preparation. I thought we were building towards playing really well in this game, and we were fighting there in the first half, and I felt, really good going into the second half, and we just didn't execute well enough in the second half. So, I don't know how to answer that other than, I thought we played hard. I thought we were fighting out there, but in the end, we came up short.
Day has talked all year about the team's 3 goals. Number 1, beat Michigan. Number 2, win the Big Ten. And number 3, win the national championship. They went 0 for 3 last year and have now lost the chance at the first 2 this year as well. So where do you go from here with this program?
Well, we'll figure out what's next. I don't know exactly what is next right now, but that's life at Ohio State. And, I certainly know what this game means to everybody. And so, when you lose, it all comes back to me. I'm the head coach, and that's what probably hurts the most.
The third of Ohio State's 3 goals is still technically alive. They are alive for the college football playoff, and they did get a lot of help on Saturday with Clemson, Oregon, LSU all losing. Now they'll probably get in if USC loses in the Pac-12 title game, and they might even get in if TCU loses in the Big 12 title game. So does Day think they deserve to be considered?
Well, I thought we were in it, and we were fighting there at the end. It obviously got out of control down the stretch, but, it wasn't like, we were outmatched in terms of, just overall play, I don't think. As we get to those decisions, I think you got to look at the body of work and what we've done. And, we got a lot of good pieces on this team. And we came up short today, but I think, if we were able to get a shot in top 4, we'd be a dangerous team.
This was very likely the last game in Ohio Stadium for CJ Stroud, and he was a little emotional on the field at the end of the game. So what was going on in his head? What were his emotions after the game?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To have the opportunity to go play this lovely game again. Honestly, I just don't know how to feel right now. It's kind of just happened so fast. So I don't know if this is my last time playing in the shoe, man, but I've enjoyed every second I've gotten in there. Came a long way, man, from first game playing in the shoe, being booed, everybody not saying very nice things about me, and I think I've earned everybody's respect as time has gone on, and I think I've fallen in love with Columbus, Ohio, and BuckeyeNation. So I've enjoyed every second of it. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, man. But I appreciate everybody that comes and supports every game. I don't think one game defines us. I don't think that this game defines this team. I would take this team over anybody in the country every week, man. So I'm blessed to be a part of this fraternity and this brotherhood. Yes.
It is also possible that not only was that CJ Stroud's last game in the Horseshoe, it could have been his last game as a Buckeye altogether. If they missed the playoff, would he play in a Rose Bowl? He was asked about that after the game as well.
Yeah, I definitely think there's still an opportunity for us to make the playoff, but I mean, this is the game, man. This is the one. So, I try to fight everything I had. I try to give it, man. I try to make plays, even sometimes when they weren't even there. I try to do everything I possibly could, man, but it's on me. I mean, this game is really on me. I gotta do more. So, yeah, I mean, I'll have to take it up in consideration, whatever happens. I don't know. I can't give you a final answer on whatever happens. I mean, it's all has to happen over these next couple weeks. So, yeah, I don't have an immediate answer for that question, but yeah, I mean, this is the one that we really wanted. This is 365 days of everybody laughing, man, talking, and I thought we started out strong and just laid an egg in the second, man. So, second half, and I'm still really grateful for everybody in here, but yeah.
One of the absolutely crucial moments in that game came in the third quarter. The Buckeyes were down 24-20. They just got the ball back, but after a holding call and then just an inexplicable headbutt by G. Scott, turned a 1st and 10 into a 1st and 35. CJ Stroud got the ball, Buckeyes 30 yards of that back in the next 3 plays. That set up a 4th and 5 at the Michigan 43. Buckeyes down just 4 points. Chance to maybe take the lead, and Day elected to punt the ball away. And the crowd didn't really love it. Stroud stood on the field and was visibly pleading. You could tell from across the stadium he was pleading with his coach to go for it. Day held firm. They punted it away. It went for a touchback. Michigan took the ball right down the field, scored like 15 plays, 80 yards. Bing, bang, boom, 31-20 Michigan lead, and the Buckeyes never had the ball again with a chance to tie or take the lead. So what were Stroud's thoughts on that decision to punt it away on 4th and 5?
I mean, when you get in a 1st and 40, like, it was crazy. I've never been in a situation like that in football, and I thought we fought back to get in decent field position. And I mean, Coach Day felt like it wasn't smart to go for it on 4th right there. I mean, I wanted it. I wanted to go for it really bad. I think I'm still one of the best players in the country, and I think that I can make that play. I think. Those type of moments, I want the ball, I want to do things, and but I have to trust Coach Day, and I do, and I will ride with him every game. So, but I mean, everybody focuses on one little thing or one half. It's so many little things that played a part into us losing this game, and really, I blame it on myself. I got to do more, man. I got to make plays on 4th down. I got to just be better. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to go for it, but at the end of the day, man. I think we got to stop the next drive. Well, I mean, if you get a stop, then you get the bar back down 4. So, I mean, it goes both ways, man. It's like flipping a coin. So, you don't really know. And you have to kind of play your chances. And we have so much respect for our defense that in those moments we know, or we hope so, they're going to get a stop. And, I mean, I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. We got to score more damn points. So.
If this was the last time Stroud puts on the scarlet and gray, his legacy is going to be kind of a complicated one. He put up crazy numbers. There's no question. Completely rewrote the Ohio State record book. Dramatic comeback win in the Rose Bowl last year. But he was also 0-2 against Michigan. Didn't win a Big Ten title as a starter. So how does CJ Stroud want to be remembered by Ohio State fans?
That's a great question. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, people are gonna say I never won a game, and I understand. People are gonna say I never won a Big Ten championship. I understand. So I mean, when it comes to that, I just have to eat it, man. It's life. Nothing's ever been easy for me. I don't expect to get it easy. God puts when you pick up the cross, man. God puts you through more, and you have to be joyful in those moments. So, yeah, it's tough, and I think. I think I said earlier this week I'm gonna be known as the best. I don't think that I'll have that respect from Buckeye Nation anymore. Even if I do, I appreciate it. But honestly, I mean, I wish I could have did more. I wish I could have won these games. I think, but no one can question my heart. I don't think anybody can question how hard I try to win this game. How hard I left everything on the table. It was nothing that no rock I didn't flip over. Like nothing I could have did more. I felt other than play better today, but. It's not like I left it to chance, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question, but.
The last person we're going to hear from today is Ohio State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. He was brought in to fix the defense and beat Michigan, and for long stretches, not just this season, but on Saturday, they did shut down the Wolverines. But 5 long touchdowns accounted for close to 2/3 of their total yardage. I mean, it has to be maddening. Just a handful of plays standing between a dominating performance and another crushing blowout loss. How did he feel going into the half, where the defense had more or less locked Michigan down? They had basically contained the Michigan running game entirely, and there were just the 2 long touchdown passes, really keeping Michigan in the game at that point at all.
You know, you just go in at halftime and you say, "Hey, we're on it. We're doing well." You know, we had. We had things defended in the run game in the first half, and just a couple big plays. So you just tell the guys, "Hey, we just got to keep it going." You know, we're on top of the run, and we gave up a couple bad plays. You know, nothing to get panicked about. And then just the second half when they hit a couple. Obviously, there at the end, they hit a couple big runs. That's just disheartening. Obviously, I have to take the blame for that, and I should. Just got to do a better job. It's a story of explosive plays. I thought we matched well. And nothing well in a loss like that. But we matched through the course of the game, but too many explosives, and that's disheartening. For not just the defense, but the team, the fans, and I have to take responsibility for that.
The explosive plays it was kind of hard to believe that they swung the game that much. All year, Knowles has talked about how he's willing to exchange 5 explosive plays for the opportunity to be aggressive. He's willing to take the chance that they're going to give up some explosives if that means he can be aggressive and attacking and control the opposing offense for the rest of the game. And that's essentially what they did on Saturday. But then those 5 explosive plays were so big, they all ended up in touchdowns. They cost the Buckeyes the game. So does that mean Jim Knowles needs to maybe reconsider that philosophy this offseason?
Yeah, you have to evaluate. The explosives, when they go for touchdowns, they become a different story. Typically, the course of my career, you preach, the explosive plays, and you have a chance to get the guy on the ground, and then you recover. But when they go for touchdowns, certainly that's something that falls on me, and you're right, I need to look at it.
Finally, if you're watching, you can probably see it in the people as they're talking, but if you're just listening, I'm guessing you can probably pick it up as well. There is this sort of a sense of shock around Ohio State, around Ryan Day and CJ Stroud and Jim Knowles. Just shock and disappointment and just bewilderment almost as they were answering some of these questions. So How stunning was this loss to Jim Knowles? And, what were the issues? What was this, a schematic issue? Was this technique? Was this fundamentals? What was going on there for Jim Knowles on Saturday?
Stunning. I don't know. It's football. It's a hard game, and you just all those things you mentioned. You just got to take responsibilities. Obviously, the players are hurting much more than me, and I'm crushed. But they're young men who put their heart and soul into it. So they're the ones that I have to be able to look in the eye and talk about all those things that you said. Scheme, technique, fundamentals, everything that goes into it has to fall on my shoulders.
Well, there is going to be a lot to talk about after the Michigan game coming up in this next week or so. There's all sorts of recruiting fallout. Buckeyes had a lot of recruits on campus for this game. So we'll have Alex Gleitman on a little later in the week to talk about that. Alex also wrote a fantastic piece on Ryan Day and the people calling for Ryan Day's head, and his thoughts on that and some other comparable situations. Really, really, really interesting piece. He's going to be on tomorrow's show to talk about that. We'll have him on a little later on in the week, probably, or Mark, to talk about the recruiting angle of all this. We got Ross Fulton to talk about the schematic piece of all this stuff and break down sort of what went wrong, what it all means, how do you fix it. That's all going to be coming up this week. Plus, Ohio State playing at Duke in basketball. That'll be a massive game. And then college football playoff talk. Yes, the Buckeyes are still very much alive, still very much in the running for the college football playoff. And as you heard Ryan Day say, they could be a dangerous team if they do. It is all about matchups. And if you get the right matchup, you never know what could happen if you get into that 4-team playoff. So we will see all that stuff coming up this week. And then heading into early signing day, just a little under a month at this point, like 3 weeks. So a very, very busy couple weeks coming up here at BuckeyeHuddle.com. This would be a great time for you to sign up and give us a try. As I've said, try it for a month, see if you enjoy it. It is a very active community, lots of good insight, lots of insiders, lots of analysis. And, try it for a month. If you like it, ask for it for a Christmas present, get an annual membership, and you never have to worry about it again. So hopefully we will see you guys on our huddle board at BuckeyeHuddle.com. But we will definitely see you at youtube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. And of course, on your podcast platform of choice, just search Buckeye Huddle. You can find this. You can find Buckeye Weekly. You can find all of our great podcasts. We would encourage you to subscribe to those. And if you enjoy them, leave us a 5-star rating or review, which will help other folks find them as well. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.